of the Lawrence County Commissioners that we will call to order. Today is Tuesday, March 15 of 2022. Would ask that if you have any type of electronic communication device, if you'd be kind enough to put it on silent or vibrate. We would appreciate that courtesy. As we always do, we'll start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence. Sheriff, would you mind leading us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you please remain standing, we'll have a brief moment of silence. Thank you all very much. Vanessa, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Spielvogel? Here. Commissioner Vogel?
Here. We do have a quorum. As we always do, we will have two opportunities for public comment. One in just a moment or so, and then prior to adjournment, we'll have an opportunity for public comment. We welcome comments or questions. We ask that they be related to county government matters. If you have a concern about a state-related issue, we would recommend you contact your state legislator or state senator. If it's a local municipal issue, we suggest you contact your township or borough officials or city officials. And obviously, if it's a federal issue, we recommend your congressman or your U.S. senator. However, if it's a matter relating to county government, you've come to the right place. We also ask that you try to limit your time to about 5 minutes, if you could, please, out of respect for everybody's schedules. And as I noted, we have two public comment periods. You're welcome to comment both times, one of the two times, or if you're just here to observe, that's fine. You're not obligated to comment either way. I'll move on then on the agenda, and agendas are available here if anybody wishes to have a copy of today's agenda. Row officer reports and comments. We're honored to have Sheriff Quilero with us. Anything this morning, Sheriff?
No, nothing here.
Thank you again. We always enjoy having you here.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So that does take us to, I apologize, our controller is here. Forgive me, David.
I'm just here for the bid opening anyway.
Understood. Anything over and above that?
No.
Okay, thank you. Please accept my apology.
No problem.
Public comment. Does anyone have a question or concern at this time? Yes, ma'am.
No question or concern, but thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Erin Baker with Vesper Energy. We're the developers of what's called Firefly Solar in North Beaver Township. I know you've spoken with some of my colleagues before, like Dylan Stickney, who is still working on the project, but it's been several months now since North Beaver Township Board of Supervisors passed their ordinance, and we just wanted to make sure that we were still continuing to engage in the broader community, both at the township level, but also at the county level. I am the Director of Development for the East Region for Vesper Energy. I'll say my name again just in case I didn't. Erin Baker is my name, and we have a couple of new things that we're rolling out as part of our community engagement that are so hot off the presses. I didn't even bring copies of some of these things. So you're hearing about this in real time. But one of the new efforts that we've got is a community grant program that would be available to organizations in the broader Lawrence County area. Excuse me. And it went from bad to worse. Okay, now we're good. And this is just a traditional community grant style program where, nonprofits and other organizations who are seeking funding for local efforts, be it, fish fry, anything, you name it, school, little league sponsorship, that type of thing, that they could just do a very simple application on a quarterly basis for our grant program. You'll perhaps see some ads coming out about that. We're going to run it in the local paper so that, we're communicating it widely that this is available. And We also we commissioned an independent economic impact analysis about how our project would contribute to the township and the schools and the community. And because we talk a lot about how our project will have a positive impact, but we wanted to put some real numbers to that. And I can share, again, we're going to be having some public release of this. It will be available on our website, which is fireflysolarpa.com. If you want to look at that, I'll say it one more time just for viewers, fireflysolarpa.com, where you can learn more about Vesper, the project, but also a copy of this economic impact analysis. It was completed by Parker Phillips, which are based in Erie, Pennsylvania, and they've done, I think, over 600 economic impact analysis of all different sectors, so they're not specific to solar. But we like them because they were local, and they've also done some, unique style projects before, so they were good for that. But I think the report, I won't bore you with some of the dry numbers, but we're talking over 300 jobs in construction, very noteworthy dollars per year in an annual basis based on their modeling. So I think it kind of speaks for itself about what our project can provide. And then the last thing I'll offer to you is that, as part of Vesper's kind of philosophy of community partnership, we wanted to open the dialogue and get maybe the county commissioners percolating about a community benefit agreement, which really just what that means. And we would be offering this to the township board as well, and also the school district that we're in communication with. But would also like to extend this to the county commissioners. A community benefit agreement is basically just, in exchange for the partnership that you provide to the project, even though you have no zoning or permitting authority on it. You're still a part of this project from our perspective, and so we would offer, some annual economic incentive as part of a community benefit agreement. We have some ideas in mind of what that might look like, and we can continue that conversation, but knowing that I'm coming in cold right now, just wanted to kind of put that out there as an opener for the discussion, and you can give me direction, guidance on how you would want to proceed. And I'll stick around to the end of the meeting if you want to ask more questions. But appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Appreciate your joining us. Loretta, any questions at this point?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
My only comment would be I would look forward to any written documentation that you could forward to us. That would be very helpful.
Sure.
On any of the analysis.
Okay, I was going to say.
Those dry numbers, maybe,
I would love to, yes. Didn't want to start spelling them off here because they're somewhat meaningless if you're not looking at them yourself. But yes, we can share that. And again, we will have a copy of it available on the website as well. But maybe if I get, I'm guessing it's online, but I can email a copy to you as well.
That would be helpful.
Your email addresses, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Any other public comments or questions? Thank you again. Under fiscal and contractual, as we noted today, our county controller is here, Mr. Prestipine. This involves a community development block grant project in the borough of Elwood City, specifically the 8th Street Beachway Street Improvement Project. Of course, as we note quite often, the County Planning Commission serves as the administrative body for CDBG programs in Union Township, Shenango Township, and the borough of Elwood City. The determination of what the projects will be, that determination is made by the local township supervisors or the borough council in the case of Elwood City. And I guess I need to ask Amy a quick question. I'm assuming that you, for this project, did the appropriate legal advertising, which led to the receipt of these documents that our controller is about to open. Okay, thank you. David, if you're able to come up, David, my standard question is, were these all received in a timely manner?
Yes, they were.
Thank you, David. Before David starts, any concerns or questions, Loretta? Or any further background from either Amy or Rebecca? Okay, thank you. David, if you would, please.
Okay, we received 3 bids. The first one is from Shields Asphalt Paving in Valencia, Pennsylvania. Total amount of bid, $169,090.45. Next one is ProTech Asphalt Maintenance in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Total amount of bid, $137,159.31. The last one is from Youngblood Paving in Waltham, Pennsylvania. Total amount of bid, $126,152.32.
Amy, I assume that you would like for us to table these bids to give you and whatever agency or individual with whom you would need to consult, would you prefer that we table them for that opportunity?
Yes, and then Rebecca will work with Elwood City Borough, their engineers, Taylor, sorry. They just switched, but they're still using Taylor for this project, so we'll work with Taylor Engineering to make sure everything's in order and hopefully be able to recommend on the 29th.
Very good. Is there a motion to table?
So moved.
Motion's been made to table the bids. I will offer the second. Any concerns, Loretta?
No.
Okay, all in favor of tabling, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion to table carries. David, as always, thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Very good.
I'll send you.
Okay, thank you.
We have, oh, and I apologize too. In our packet, as part of the record, is the actual bid invitation. We haven't gotten that far, so we do have, we'll enter this into the record. The bid invitation document was published on February 14 and 21 of this year in both the Newcastle News and the Elwood City Ledger. It was also posted at the Elwood City Borough Municipal Building and here at the courthouse. Okay, next on the agenda we have our warrant register, which is submitted to us by the Controller's Office, which is a listing of the bills that have been paid. They are dated March 8 and March 11, and we'll take a second or two to look them over. And Loretta, as you're doing so, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise them.
Everything was pretty routine, I must say. I will move to accept both.
Thank
warrant
you.
registers.
Thank you very much. Give me one more second. I will second your motion. Any concerns with the warrant registers?
No.
So Loretta has moved to accept these documents. I've offered the second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the minutes of the March 8th meeting, and I'm gonna ask a favor of you, Loretta. I was at the RIDC Board of Directors meeting last Tuesday in Pittsburgh. Accordingly, I was not here. And I prefer to abstain, but that means we basically have to table these
Right,
minutes until the
sure.
next meeting, if you're willing to do so.
That's fine.
Would you be willing to make a motion to table this?
I certainly will. So moved.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
I'll second that motion. And hopefully then when we reconvene on the 29th, we'll be able to, we'll have, hopefully all three of us will be
Yes.
here and you and Commissioner Boyd hopefully can vote to approve them. So thank you for
No, no
that.
problem.
All in favor of tabling, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign, the motion carries. Thanks again, Loretta.
Absolutely.
Under written communications, pardon me, we have received correspondence from W.D. Money and Associates of Katanning, Pennsylvania, dated March 4. It is a notification on behalf of Industrial Minerals, on behalf of the Allegheny Mineral Corporation. The permit application type is an Industrial Minerals Surface Mine Permit Application Revision. The location is in Slippery Rock Township of Lawrence County. The project description is Industrial Mineral Surface Mining. And as we note at every meeting, they are required to notify us of this activity. However, we simply make note of it, enter it into the record. A copy, or the original actually went to our planning office, so it is part of the record, but beyond that, we don't take any formal action other than accepting it. So that being said, may I have a motion to accept this letter from W.D. Money and Associates, please?
So moved.
I will second. Loretta, any concerns or questions?
No.
Thank you. All in favor of accepting it, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Under Commissioner reports and comments, I will note, I guess I get to go first here today.
Yes, you do.
There will not be a commissioners meeting next Tuesday. Now, it says that on the agenda, but I do want to correct the fact that next Tuesday, Commissioner Spielvogel and I will be attending the spring conference of the County Commissioners Association in Harrisburg. And as is the tradition, we do not hold a public meeting the week of those conferences, of which there are 3 during the year. This is the first of those 3 conferences. And we've noted quite often that we're one of the few counties in the state in which we have 2 commissioners serving on the state association's board of directors. And more importantly, Commissioner Spielvogel is also on the executive committee of the board in her capacity as the treasurer. So we're looking forward. We get to see a lot of our colleagues from around the Commonwealth and hear a lot of good speakers. So the Board of Commissioners will reconvene on March 29, 2 weeks from today. And hopefully all 3 of us will be able to be here for that meeting. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Loretta.
I was just going to comment as well that next week we will be at CCAP. And that's, one of the things that the public may not understand is that, sometimes when you're involved with an association or a group, that you just get together and discuss things and then you're gone for a couple of days, you have a couple of dinners and lunches and you go back to your regular duties. CCAP plays a very, very important role in the fact that we do every year. We vote on legislative priorities that we have, that we present to the various bodies within our Pennsylvania system in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. And this year I was lucky enough to be present to present. Now they were by Zoom, but we met via Zoom with those key leaders in the the House of Representatives and the Senate and talked about our priorities that we had and engaged in conversation with it. And it was very educational for me to do that for the first time. But knowing that the legislators that they did engage so much with us was very good. And our priorities this year are, the mental health system, the lack of dollars, so to speak. I look at Joe because that's his home base, the systems. And the workforce issues, the CYS systems, children and youth, our election reform, 911 systems. I mean, we truly honestly have the ear of the legislators, and they do reciprocate, and we have good discussion. Yeah, so it's very much an engaged organization, and I feel privileged to participate in that, being part of the board, but also being part of the priorities team to be able to present those priorities that we have. So I'm glad that we do have that organization and that I am involved. And I know, Dan, that you feel the same as well. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Loretta.
Sure.
Moving on, we have a number of resolutions for consideration. The first one, what number would this one be?
65.
Thank you. 65. This is a resolution relative to revising the CDBG budget for the borough of South Newcastle. Who's going to speak to us today about it? Both
We
of
might
you?
both have.
That's fine.
This one's a cluster.
No, that's
Oh, jeez.
You'll work it out for us. Okay, either one, whoever cares to start.
I'll go first. So this is CDBG fiscal year 2016. Rebecca, we went to close out the project.
Okay.
This would have been Byers Avenue. This was also the year we did the county affordable housing plan. And when you do any type of planning in CDBG, that money is taken out of your 18% admin you can take. And everything that we saw that we have access to, everything was spent, zeroed out. And when we closed out, Rebecca submitted this in October, and we weren't getting anything back from our grant manager, so we kept emailing. And finally, we got his boss, and she emailed us and said, "You still have $9,936.14 to spend." Well, $9,936.14 for a project isn't anything we can do with the street improvement or, so they suggested we move it to our admin. And then we have until October of this year to spend it. So that's all we're basically doing. We're taking that money that left over. Byers was paid out, Byers was completed, everything was done to do it the way it was supposed to be. But $9,936.14 is left hanging in CDBG world.
But is it still earmarked for the borough of South Newcastle? Is it still technically
It's
their
county,
money?
It's county money.
it's county money. South Newcastle is all of the county other than the 3 OBOs.
Understood. I got you on that, but.
No, it's not earmarked for South Newcastle Borough. South Newcastle Borough, Byers Avenue was completed in full. It was paid for in full.
Right, and it came in under budget.
Under budget.
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that. What happened was originally, a draw was done in 2017 out of the affordable housing line, I think, and submitted for under Byers, which it should never have been done. So we did a
It was a transposition error, like a 5.7 should have been a 7.5.
So we went.
So it,
And so we went back through and we thought we fixed it. Everything was zeroed out. If I pull up it's called a PRO2, if I pull that up in the IDIS HUD system, it shows everything is zeroed out. But in DCED's mind, we still have this $9,936.14. That is technically called cash on hand. And they have suggested that in order for us to spend it and not have to return anything back, the fastest way to do it is to move it to admin. We have plenty of time to spend those dollars by October, and we would just have to draw down on those dollars first.
Well, it's the scenario sounds as though it's better this way than as if we had it the other way. In other words, having this surplus, if you will, of the $9,900, if conversely, we were in a deficit
Yeah,
situation.
oh, absolutely.
Am I right?
No, this isn't,
This is a good problem to
I
have.
mean, it's a good problem, but it's more admin money.
We do have it, right?
Yeah.
They've insisted that
They insisted, we have it, and they suggested the best way to do it is, to spend it in the admin. The way we try and do it, and because it says it in the appendix of our grant, we have an activity period, which is 5 years. Our contract will be a 5-year activity. But it says that all funds have to be spent, in our appendix A, it says it has to be spent within 3 years. So that's why we're closing this, make sure we're.
Right.
Right.
Donna assured us multiple times
Okay.
and in writing.
Okay, good.
And we have until October of 2022 to spend the money. So if you guys are okay with this and approve this, and once Morgan's back, he can sign off on it's called a revision packet, and we'll get that approved, and then we will have to do a budget amendment because money's not accounted for in our budget. But we have it, they said.
The only thing I'm still hung up on is, we had made this commitment to the Borough of South Newcastle. Is it still not for their purposes, this $9,900?
No, because the money, we committed to fund their project Byers Avenue.
Right.
That project came in under budget. So
Okay.
We fulfilled our commitment and paid for Byers Avenue.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that was done, that was taken care of. I mean, that project was done in 2020.
Oh, it was 2019.
2019, yeah.
okay.
2019.
So, yeah, and it was done, and luckily it came in under budget. Now we're dealing with like Elwood City Boroughs, I mean, that's gonna be over budget. So
Yeah.
luckily that we did theirs in 2020, it was under budget.
Right.
It was paid for, they were happy with everything. No, they're not coming back and asking for that additional.
Okay.
And we'd have to find a project. If
Well,
we would even wanna do, and you're not gonna do anything for $9,000.
$9,900.
Right.
That's about-
$96 to 14 cents, and they're not in an LMI census block area, so then you're into the surveys and.
$9,900, that'll buy a couple of tanks of gasoline.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Not
okay.
diesel, no.
Are you comfortable with their proposal?
Yes, I am, yes, as
Okay.
long as they said in writing that we have it and it's
We
there
have it,
because.
and we haven't talked, and Rebecca
Right.
even like responded, are you sure?
Are they?
Can I have that in writing?
Can I have that in writing?
I know.
Oh, good, that's
Right.
good, that's
Yeah,
very
I
good.
do.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay,
You always
good.
gotta have a
Right.
paper trail on
Right.
it, matters like that, that's great.
Oh, my.
Okay, Loretta, unless you have any other questions, I could entertain a motion to approve Resolution 65.
So moved.
Thank you, I will offer the second. Any other questions? I'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Ladies, thank you
Thank
both
you
very
so
much.
much.
Appreciate it.
Always happy to see you.
You too, thanks, have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Our next resolution, our next proposed resolution is Resolution 66. This involves the West Central Job Partnerships Workforce Investment Board, which consists of volunteers from both Mercer and Lawrence counties. They offer guidance and policy-making, have policy-making responsibilities for West Central Job Partnership. And earlier this year, we had a vacancy on that board, and we appointed Mr. Adam Neff, who is affiliated with Blackhawk Neff in Neshannock Township. The term he was filling out expires in a few months, actually no, I stand corrected. It says here it expires on June 30th, 2023. And what we're doing, I guess, here is that, okay, in accordance with the Department of Labor and Industries guidelines, new appointees' terms must either be 2, 3, or 4 years in length, and to comply, Mr. Neff's term will need to be extended to June 30 of 2025. So we're doing this to fall in line with the State Department of Labor and Industries guidelines. So I'm certainly willing to go along with this. Any thoughts or concerns, Loretta?
No.
Okay, would you be willing to make a motion for Resolution 66?
So moved.
Thank you. I'll offer the second. I'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please. please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion
And
carries.
thank you so much. Mr. Neff will be with us a little bit longer, which is good.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We have a budget amendment proposal, which would be Resolution 67 if it passes. And this involves unanticipated or unbudgeted revenue falling under the courts. We received a grant in the amount of $14,720, and the courts, well, we're increasing the state grant court general revenue fund account by $14,720 and decreasing the court's materials and supplies general revenue fund account by the same amount. So this is a budget amendment to reflect both the increase in the one account and the corresponding decrease in the other. Any questions or concerns, Loretta?
No.
Would you be willing to move for this?
So moved.
Thank you. I'll offer the second. If there are no other questions or concerns, I'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have a couple of proposed transfers. The first would be Resolution 68. This transfer request falls under the Commissioner's area, and we would be taking a total of $18,500 from the Commissioner's contingency line item. Of that, $15,000 would go toward the Prothonotari's land and building rental line item, and $3,500 would go towards the Register and Recorder's land and building rental line item. This is to cover additional costs for storage at the wampum mines. Loretta, any concerns?
No.
Could I have a motion then that we adopt Resolution 68?
So moved.
I'll second. If there are no other questions, I'll ask for a roll call.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Proposed Resolution 69 is also a transfer, and we are also taking $1,000 from the Commissioner's contingency. That will be earmarked for Central Court's equipment lease line item. This is to cover unbudgeted postage machine maintenance costs. And again, that amount is $1,000. Is there a motion for Resolution 69?
So moved.
I'll second. Any concerns or questions, Loretta? Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And then we have 3 administrative transfers that are in front of us. First, coming from the Public Safety Department, we are realigning Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency project funds, basically taking it from one line item and putting it into the more appropriate line item. They are all coming from the West Core upgrade and maintenance line item. The first amount is $5,337.70. That will go into the West Core maintenance line item. Then also from West Core upgrade and maintenance line item, we're taking $68,114.51, placing that into the I-Corps annual maintenance line item. And then finally, again, coming from West Core upgrade and maintenance, we're taking $8,589.60, and that will go towards Region 13 SENet. Thank you. I couldn't tell if that was an I or an L. SENet maintenance. Thank you, Loretta.
Sure.
The total amount of the proposed or of the requested transfer is $82,041.81. And they're all incorporated, they're split out on your agenda, and they're all incorporated into this one document that we'll now take a vote on. It's administrative, it's not assigned a number, but we still have to take formal action. So I could entertain a motion for approval of this transfer.
So moved.
I will second, but before we vote, see if you have any thoughts.
No.
You're okay?
No thoughts. I couldn't let that pass by. No thoughts whatsoever.
Thank you.
Some days are like that.
They are. We'll ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. Well, we jump all the way down to announcements. Debbie, I noted right at the beginning of the meeting, it says here that the commissioners meet next week. That is not correct. There will not be a commissioners meeting next week. Commissioner Spielvogel and I will be in Harrisburg for the spring CCAP conference. So the three of us, hopefully, will be reconvening 2 weeks from today, the 29th of March. That'll be our next commissioners meeting. And
We will not be having prison board tomorrow.
yeah, and there's a little mix up there too. That it said it was going to be at the New Beaver Borough Building. That's not where it was going to be held. That's a typo. We just had the County Planning Commission meeting at New Beaver Borough last week. But it's all a moot point because the chair of the prison board just announced there is no prison board meeting.
Oddly enough, no business. Which is a good thing. Yes.
I'm sure you don't mind. It's one less thing you have to do tomorrow. Let me,
It was a very good article on the system. I think it was last week that you had in for the state inmates that haven't been transferred. Yeah. Very good article. Yes.
before we adjourn, I will reopen the meeting for public comments or questions. Debbie?
Thank you.
Okay. I hope we've covered everything. I
think we have. I think we're
anything
good.
we've overlooked. Vanessa, anything we've overlooked? It's a pleasure as always, Sheriff and Ms. Baker. It's so nice to make your
Thank you.
acquaintance.
Thank you.
And if there is no other business to be brought before the board, I would entertain an adjournment motion.
So moved.
Second, all in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries, we're adjourned. Thank you all. You may have my packet. Oh, and then, do you know how to turn?
I sure do.